Here we are with the next part of the Wolfpack. And in this episode, we're going to be having the games versus Birmingham City and Bristol City. But before that, we're going to go over the results from the last couple of games. Our first game, we had a 1-1 draw versus Bolton. Not versus Bolton, versus Brighton. This game was relatively even. We again dominated possession like we seem to do every game. But we just didn't really take our chances and kind of deserved to draw it. They scored a late goal, which was annoying, but we should have done better. So can't really be too mad at it. Next game was the weirdest game I think I've ever played. It was a 4-3 win versus Chelsea, and we got off to a really fast start in the fourth minute with Jack Price, who I've started playing higher up of the pitch because the game before this he also scored like a screamer, and he scored one in this game too. He was like amazing in this game. He had a 9.2. He scored in the fourth minute, and it seemed like the world was like going crazy. I had no idea what was happening. Then LaFondre scored in the 43rd minute. And then we started to come back down to earth. Pedro scored in the 63rd, but then right after that, LaFondre scored in the 71st, and then Pedro scored in the 73rd, and then we scored in the 77th, and then Falcao scored. When Falcao scored, I like dropped everybody back and we played as defensive as possible. They had a lot of yellow cards, but somehow we pulled it out and we beat Chelsea in the Capital One Cup third round, which this season Wolves could probably do in real life because Chelsea are not playing the best. But on the game, I suspect that they're doing much better. Let's see. Yeah, they're first in the Premier League right now. So we beat the team that was first in the Premier League in the Capital One Cup, and they were playing a full strength squad. So it's pretty amazing. After that, we had a 1-0 win versus Preston. Not sure what I could name. 1-0 win versus Preston. They weren't really in the game at all. They didn't have a shot on target, so we should have gotten more goals, but win's a win. Next up, we had a 2-1 win over Huddersfield. I believe, did they score first? Yes, they scored in the 8th minute. This seems to happen a lot. I don't know if it's the tactic, but other teams get early leads against us, and then we have to kind of come back against that, which we did. We scored in the 16th and the 60th minute to solidify the victory. After that, we had a kind of surprising 3-1 loss to Derby County. We scored early on, and we had this lead, and then they scored, and then it seemed like in the second half we just kind of let the game go, because in the first half they had like 3 shots on target maybe. Then they kind of really came into it in the second half, and they took their chances. And Andy Weidman scored twice, and Tom Henn scored once. And Danny Bath got a red card later on, so it kind of killed off our momentum. So yeah, it was a loss. And we bounced back from that with a 3-0 win over Brentford. We really dominated the game. They weren't in it at all. It seems like either we dominate or the other teams take their chances better than we do and we lose. There's not really many even games. The Chelsea game is kind of even, which is kind of ironic. Then we had a 2-0 win over Middlesbrough. Then once again, domination. Zivkovic and Bath the goals. And then a 2-0 win over Leeds in the Capital One Cup, which we should probably just win the tournament at this point because we already beat possibly the toughest team ever in it. So that's all the results. I think I want to show if we have any more injuries. I think we got a couple more injuries. Some of them have come back, but there's still a good number that are out. If Jordan Graham got hurt for like 2 months, now he's out for another 6 weeks from this point. Connor Cody is out for another 1 to 4 days. He was out for about 2 weeks. Jet Wallace is out for, he'll be returning to fitness the next day, but he's been out for a couple of weeks. James Henry is still out. So the injuries aren't as crucial as they were before. But yeah, I'll see you at the start of the game versus Birmingham. All right, here's the squad. We have Amy Martinez, Ayo for Bath and House. Ayo for Bath House and Casual. I thought that was like that's not enough people. For our back line, then we have Loftus Cheek at CDM spot, Zivkovic on the right, McAvoy on the left, McDonald in the center, Kurt and Afobe are up top. McDonald and Martinez aren't the most match fit, but they've both been complaining about not playing enough, even though they both just came off of injuries. So I'm trying to work them back in slowly. But they like Martinez requested for his loan to be terminated, and McDonald asked to leave because I wasn't playing him enough, even though he had been injured for like 3 months, which is the most frustrating thing that happens in this game. Players don't realize that I can't play them if they're not match fit, and then it gets like all super complicated. But yeah, we should, even with those guys not being fully fit, we should still uh, go into this game and get a win. Birmingham are they're somewhere they're relatively low. They're 20th in the league right now, so we should still come out of this. They actually have a former player of ours, Thomas Kushak, but we should come out of this with a win definitely. And here's the first highlight. Uh, Kind of moving the ball around well. Zivkovic gets tackled. Good tackle there by Courtney House. Hold on. Okay. McDonald working it through to Afobe. Out to Zivkovic, who can hit out to Iorfa if he wants to. Nope, it goes back to the middle. Now it goes out to Iorfa, who puts it in across. Yep, back to McAvoy, who puts it in the back of the net. It's good play from us right there. McAvoy with the second goal of the season, and it was well worked throughout that entire movement. Hopefully we can keep this up. Only 3 minutes in right now. We are top of the league. I don't think I mentioned that. We're top of the league with Brighton in second and Hull in third. I think it's mostly because they've been we've lost the one game, but we've also only drawn one, so that's been a big factor. The other teams are drawing a lot more, and here they go gliding around again. That's my computer's fault more than anything. Here we go. Corner from Birmingham. Cleared by Loftus Cheek. Might have a break here with Kurt working the ball out wide. They get a clearance. Hopefully, who's that? House can get there. Okay, yeah. That definitely. Oh, that was apparently the highlight. We have a goal kick from Martinez out to 21. I still haven't come up with a nickname for him. Out to McAvoy. McAvoy and the Kurt, who's playing kind of deep right now. McDonald up to Zivkovic, and it should be a goal from Zivkovic easily. It could have been better from Kujak, but it was a good finish from Zivkovic, who I think is our joint top goal scorer right now. He's having a really good debut season in the championship. He just runs past the defender, and yeah, you would want better from Kujak there. I could have probably done better than that, but who cares? It's a goal for us. All right, here we are at halftime. I'm going to take off Danny Bath because he's not playing phenomenally, and he's on a yellow card. He's already been sent off once this season. I don't need him to be sent off any more times than that, honestly. Uh, we've been playing well. There's really only been the two highlights, and nothing else has actually come from anything in the game. But we took our chances, we scored our goals, so we should be able to kick on in the second half and just hold this lead. Hopefully, we don't fall apart, kind of how we did in the Derby game in the second half. Hopefully, we can put the pressure on them some more and not do that again. Throwing from Birmingham, cleared by House, I think, and hopefully, nope. I thought Kurt was going to be able to beat him to the ball. Birmingham have it in the middle of the park. They're working it around Gray. Orfa is it out on the wing. He can hit it through. Nope. gets blocked by Gray, who's a really good player, actually, Demarai Gray, uh, who doesn't show it there because he just hits it into the front row. Yeah, goal kick from Kuzak was headed away from by House. They get it, but win it back. McAvoy, who can take on his man, and does. McDonald back to Landell, back out to Iorfa, who's it? Is it gonna hit it through Zivkovic? Yeah, who's it up to? No one hits it through McAvoy, and Kurt can score here easily. That's 3-0, and this game is pretty much over. I don't see much else coming from it on this half of Birmingham, but that was a well worked goal by us again. It seems like luckily we don't take that many bad shots. All of our shots seem to be right in front of the goal, which is where you want to get your shots. So yeah, it was a good goal. All right, 75th minute. I'm gonna get off. Afobe hasn't played great, and he just came back still from his injury relatively recently, so I don't want anything to be re-aggravated. Along with McDonald, get on Tommy Rowe. He doesn't play enough. Get on Tommy Rowe just for these last 15 minutes, so just to see out the game. And of course, Ruben Loftus-Cheek gets an injury in the 84th minute, so he might not be on the field right now. So he might be down in 10. Nope, he's there. Never mind. But he's still, I can't take him off because I use him off my subs. But apparently it won't matter because we're hitting him on the counter right now. And 21 hit it through Sigurdarsson, who I don't think Sigurdarsson has scored this season yet. But he does have an assist right there for Tommy Rowe. The two subs link up for our fourth goal of the game. Also Tommy Rowe's first goal of the season. The game is definitely over at this point. But this Loftus-Cheek injury definitely sucks because he's been playing well in the CDM spot. But we can always bring in Jack Price or Connor Cody right there, so it's not that big of a loss, honestly. The game highlight, and they have a corner, but we're probably going to clear it, and the ref should blow the whistle pretty soon. Yeah, there we go. Full time, Birmingham 0, Wolves 4. It was a great game from us. The Loftus-Cheek injury kind of sucks because it was right at the end of the game, but what you gonna do about it? And actually, that's gonna be the only game of this episode. I don't really have time to do another one. But when we come back, it'll probably be the game that's right around Christmas. I think it's the day after Christmas. It'll be versus well, we'll see who's versus. Once the game decides to load, it'll be the game versus, where is it? Reading, who are currently 13th in the championship. Then after that, we'll probably go through whatever deals we do in January. But thanks for watching. If you liked it, leave a like and a comment, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.